this is strategy and logistics, so it's great. The passes I mentioned are those that I've used in the past to start or end a class at. We usually ran 10-day classes between passes along the PCT in the High Sierra. And the mindset is, because you know that the resupply, the summer resupply locations may not exist, in the back of your head, you go, okay, I'm gonna have to walk out, and I may have to walk out further than I would than in the summer. There are ways around that a little bit. So let me repeat. Once you leave Kennedy Meadows South, your next exit is Horseshoe Meadows if the road to it is open. If it's closed, which is right around Memorial Day is when it opens up. So that's the end of May or in there somewhere. If you're going by Horseshoe and Cottonwood Pass, Mulkey Pass, Trail Pass, they're all in that little horseshoe around the meadow. Before Memorial Day, assume that the road's closed unless you know otherwise. So before you leave Kennedy Meadows South, if you're still doing your 3-day food supply or whatever, and you're counting on being able to get a hitch out of Horseshoe Meadows, find out in Kennedy Meadows if it's open, if the road is open. Okay, next location. You'll be tempted to consider Trail Crest as a east side exit. Trail Crest is way too steep. Do not go over that because that's on the flanks of Mount Whitney. Don't go down the east side. Remember always that the east side of the Sierra is much steeper than the west side of the Sierra because of the way the Sierra is tilted up due to plate tectonics and all that kind of junk way back when. Next exit after Horseshoe, so then therefore is in a practical way, functional, reliable, and safe, is Kearsarge Pass. Don't also be tempted with Shepherd Pass. Shepherd Pass is on the other side, north side of Mount Whitney. Shepherd has a very, very steep east side. You look down that thing and go, holy shit, I can't do that. It's all ice, and it is. I spent several hours one time creating a ladder into the ice, carving it, and then it was like, my students aren't going to make it down this, and so we bailed on that idea. But so Kearsarge is the second after Kennedy Meadows in all practical purposes. Next one is Bishop Pass. The next one is Mono Pass. The next one is Mammoth Pass. Yes, you will be going into the town of Mammoth. If you elect to not to go over the pass into the park, hit Tuolumne Meadows, then Tioga Pass would be next. After that, Sonora. So, and then you're home free. I have walked and skied down Tioga Pass to get to the gate that blocks car traffic, and then hopefully find the ranger station, which is right in the area of the gate, and then knock on a door, maybe get a ride, whatever. You know, you'll do stuff like that. You go over Bishop Pass and you come out at the trailhead and there's nothing there. I mean, there's nobody there. Yeah, a bunch of summer cabins and some resorts and junk like that, but there's no one going to be there in May. If you have a drought winter, it could totally change. But the Bishop Pass Resort, I've used many times as a resupply location. They're right there. There are a number of other, short of words, businesses in the area that you could call and say, hey, when you guys go in? At the beginning of the season, find out if they can hold a box for you, something like that, or give you a lift down to Bishop. Exactly. You got to understand the mentality of the mountain folks in the area. They have a time when they go in and start their seasons. The highway department doesn't open up the roads, say, for example, above Alpental is the name of the little residential town on the road up to the Bishop Pass trailhead. They don't open the gates to let everybody up there until a certain date. So your first step may be to call Mono County Roads Department and say, when do you plan on opening the gates to these trailheads? And then from there, contact businesses or whatever that happen to be up there and say, hey, can I mail myself a box, to you guys? Can you hold it for me? And that's what I did initially. It's old school way of doing it, but you guys are putting yourselves on the moon. You're in a whole different environment and it requires a different way of dealing with things.